So it's about 12 a.m. here in Calgary, and I just finished my practice. I practiced for about 75 minutes, and about 30 minutes in, my pinky started hurting in my left hand. So I would play a chord or I would play a note firmly, and even just doing this, I feel the strain on it. So I decided to stop practicing with it. And I even thought, it's getting late. It's about 11:30, and I got to wake up at 5 a.m. for my exercise class. So, noticing that initial resistance, I remembered this quote by a renowned entrepreneur, Alex Hermosi, and he said, "The work works on you more than you work on it." So, the way I interpret that is that when you are working hard at something, you are working as much on your character as you are on the actual activity that you're working on. So I decided to push through, and I'm really glad that I did because after a few minutes, I realized that it wasn't so bad just ghosting my left hand and practicing my right hand. I would try my left hand here and there, and as long as I didn't play with much pressure, it didn't bother me. But I decided, you know what, let's not practice with the left hand so I can be fully recovered, hopefully, by tomorrow. And it reminded me of a lesson that I had today with a student. So she's about 6, and I asked her to count and clap out loud. And initially, she had this resistance. "Oh, I don't want to do it." And I said, "Okay, so can you at least tell me why you don't want to do it?" And she said, "No." And then I told her, "Okay, so it's okay if you don't want to do it, but you have to at least tell me the reason why. Like, can you share?" So she did. um, After I prompted her, I said, "Is it because it's too hard or you don't feel like doing it?" And she said, "I don't feel like doing it." So I said, "Okay." I affirmed her. I said, "I understand you don't feel like doing it. But there are a lot of things that we don't feel like doing, but if we did do them, it would help us a great deal." So I asked her, "Do you want your piece to get better or do you want it to stay the same?" And she said, "I want it to get better." I said, "Okay, well, clapping and counting will make it better. Can I show you how?" And she did. And she played her piece. It was a lot steadier. It was a win of a lesson. And thinking about that story reminded me of my practice today, where I initially didn't want to do it. But when I dug a little deeper, I realized that it was just because it was rationalizing all these things of why I shouldn't do it. But after all, I'm really glad that I did. And it strengthened my resolve. So hopefully you can strengthen your resolve in your practice too.